This week on the Rental Report Review. They wanted her dead. They should have known better. The Lady Reporter, 1989. When you double-cross a double-crosser, it's a crisscross. Crisscross, 1949. Sorority Sisters. Sisters in life, sisters in death. The House on Sorority Row, 1983. An assassin hired to recover a kidnapped victim becomes embroiled in a vicious power struggle between two large corporations over a sizable government defense contract. The Most Dangerous Game, 1978. Pouring out of impassioned pages, brawling their way to greatness on the screen, From Here to Eternity, 1953. Just to start tangentially, one of the things I love most about foreign cinema, especially genre cinema, is how the US is reflected back to us, particularly through the Cold War years. It paints a slightly less filtered picture of our clandestine operations throughout the world. We're a slightly more complicated and often villainous enterprise that infiltrates every level of society to, plunder and suppress. For reasons, and also to protect the democratic peoples of wherever. Anyway, in a movie with no less than 3 titles, my personal favorite being The Blonde Fury, Cynthia Rothrock is a badass spy reporter hero in one of the quintessential masterpieces of the martial arts action thriller subgenre. From what I understand, this was Rothrock's first leading role in a Golden Harvest film. By this point, she had proven her mettle as an outsider in this highly rigorous world of Hong Kong action martial arts cinema. She's already featured and co-starred in some absolute classics, Yes Madam being one of my personal favorites, full stop. Make no mistake, her prominence here is no handout to woo an American audience. In fact, this blows my mind every time I hear that. She did this film post-torn ACL, and from what I can find, as of 2012, she has still not undergone any surgical intervention to correct or reconstruct. She did this film without a functioning right knee, in heels, in dresses. Like, what the fuck? Cynthia Rothrock is one of the best to ever do it. Not only is her martial arts stunt performance in the most rarefied of rarefied airs, it's an extension of her unique character. Graceful with pop, follows through every blow, every block, rough when needed, controlled but quick-witted. I give The Lady Reporter 4.25 stars. They say styles make fights, and each and every character in this has their unique strength tied to something about their character that makes every interaction and fight in this film distinctive and engaging. There's a rogues gallery of matchups and all variety of fun locations to push everything further. Fuck it, let's play both trailers. I mean, come on, look at this. Every minute of this movie is jacked to 11. Well, every moment that should be jacked to 11 is jacked to 11. Even if you don't plan to make a martial arts movie yourself, there's a lot to learn about character and progressive escalation of intensity in works explicitly driven by conflict. Oh hey, that's like everything. And really, obviously, this comes down to director Mang and writer Tamisham Sai-sang. This is Mang directorial debut with an already substantial resume of martial arts acting in his filmography. Unfortunately, this seems to be one of only 2 features he directed, seemingly falling victim to a case of studio antagonism. The story points and structure were just a bit too on the abstract side for me. That could also be translation, I don't know. I watched the Hong Kong version with subtitles. It definitely doesn't take itself too seriously. but just enough to still get fully invested. And that's also to Rothrock's other secret weapon. She's a great actor, too. She knows exactly what kind of film she's in. Couldn't get enough of her. And not even with her own voice. Crush City. I don't get this kind of feeling much, sense memory flashback. Sitting in front of this, I had a flashback to watching old movies, trying not to fall asleep when I was a child. I would just lay on my grandparents' couch and watch movies until I either fell asleep or until my parents came to pick me up. Do I have sleep anxiety? Am I describing sleep anxiety? Criss Cross is fucking dynamite, and this is my second favorite kind of Burt Lancaster, the lovable lug. He's obviously theatrical in nature, and he's so precisely tuned to rev slowly into his emotional climaxes. He builds his inertia slowly, pulls you out like a riptide, and then slams you when you finally realize there's no way to escape.
If loving her meant tangling with a killer,
I give Criss Cross 3.75 stars. This film is fucking gorgeous. The use of what looks like rear projection to extend casual sets is some of the best and most aesthetically tickling I've seen. It's not entirely real, but it feels pretty fucking real enough and really fucking dreamy, and that's even better.
no good tramp.
It's just enough to take a sort of what we would now call like a classical noir heist thriller to an extra dimension.
And you're working without me?
The story was fun, but a bit too tug-of-war-y for me. But, you know, I reserve the right to totally change my score at any time, so yeah.
The oil truck, the ice cream wagon, the men planted inside the ground. Every move planned and timed to the split second. Would it succeed? Could it succeed?
Yvonne DiCarlo. That introductory dance sequence, though, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I believe he would do horrible things for her. She is so incomprehensibly seductive in a way that is not worn as affectation. I would do horrible things for her.
A certain kind of girl joins Pi Theta sorority. A girl who likes to party and likes to get close to her friends. A girl whose extracurricular activities were more daring than most.
This feels like a cash grab. It's, well, to be fair, there are gold rushes. This is a gold rush film. Something around this time is in the culture, the old zeitgeist. Traumatized human monsters attacking young flesh. An older generation preying upon a younger generation, often because of other intergenerational trauma. This film comes out around, but just after Halloween, Friday the 13th Part 1, 2, and 3, and after a cadre of films like The Slumber Party Massacre. This is some mix and match that weaves through a lot of this clusters. It's a mix and match sanded down for a more middle class polite audience. I'm fine with all that, and even the refinement. I mean, not really, but you have to do something titillating or thrilling in a horror film. We need to feel the vulnerability somehow, and see and feel and be eviscerated somehow. Normal, scared, terrified people don't casually go about their party as depicted without some serious psychological implications. This film does the best when it plays to that, the psychological turmoil between characters, which is almost sadly beside the point. I give The House on Sorority Row 2.75 stars. It just sucks because I loved every one of the primary characters, right down to the goofy boyfriends. As written, they just don't act as people actually in this situation. They make the most of it. I fully buy into what they're conveying. It's just, this is what happens when you mix and match elements of related subgenres without consideration of a coherent character. I guess one of the biggest sins, though, is that the plotting is a bit tedious. You know something is coming, even when you don't know or have a guess. When it comes up, it's just so uninspired. I mean, maybe all these people love this genre and want to make their own, but why water it down?
They decided to make real sure that no one would ever forget the girls in the house on Sorority Row.
Have some guts, right? This is the first in a linked trilogy of some kind. In this one, a mercenary assassin is contacted to mitigate inter-corporate red Yakuza gone straight dispute over a government contract for a national anti-aircraft radar installation. One of those films. As I've said, what I love in general and specifically about Japanese cinema is the lens it has on international and criminal affairs, both from the campy cartoonish side and the complex Cold War international intrigue side. I still want to see all three, but The Most Dangerous Game weaves an uneven path through this world. When it's good, it's really good. It just takes a little long to get there. This is still very much a boys' film, but for the approaching 20 early college set, it's deliciously problematic in all the ways you would expect sexual dynamics in edgy late 1970s Japanese cinema would be. I will not feign to know the author's intent, but genre conventionally, it's par for the course. A little bit better than par for the course. I give The Most Dangerous Game 3.5 stars. I think what it is that Yusaku Matsuda completely wins me over in a way I was not expecting, despite or through the despicable qualities of his character. Some of the set pieces were either a little long or repetitive in nature, without much cinematic variation, and some of them strained credulity. None of it kept me from enjoying it. I would just get mildly befuddled when it all of a sudden got super good. Maybe it's budgetary, genre maturity, don't know. I think the most exciting thing throughout were the scenes between Matsuda and Keiko Tasaka. It's complicated and electric. What do you say about one of the most memed movies in all of cinema? How many times have we seen the beach kiss in advertisements, documentaries, award shows, any cinema compilation? It's the platonic ideal of the romantic moment in cinema. It is so monumental. How do you watch this film for the first time like I did, knowing that moment is somewhere in this film? And then it's almost immediately. And it's not even really part of the real core of this movie. And it's not even anywhere near some of the best parts of this movie. This feels like a movie, the movie, that made Terrence Malick and Michael Mann and a whole generation of gruffy softies want to make cinema. This film is perfect as a channel for untapped emotions. It's a perfect anti-authoritarian, anti-war. It's a perfectly woven, star-crossed, tragically driven feelie. There really is some huevos involved in bringing this to the screen in this candid a manner in 1953 or 2024.
I'm telling you, Tom, she's nothing but trouble. You better keep your mind off what you're thinking. What do you want to do, wind up in Leavenworth?
I give From Here to Eternity 4.5 stars.
I never knew it could be like this.
I came for the Lancaster and stayed for everyone else delivering goddamn powerhouse punches. Good shit, man. I mean, this is credited with 2 cinematographers. I could see how that could be divided along special photography. This thing is a sight to behold. It's inky post-war Hollywood expressionism at its absolute best. And the special effects action sequences are thrilling and visceral. Fucking Lancaster, though. Goddamn king of the pride here. He's the center of mass of this galaxy. The weight of the performances and the story match the impending magnitude of what we all know, of World War II. And it's not entirely sure how it feels about it. I think I like it more than The Thin Red Line, but I haven't seen that in a while. This week, my weekly pick of the week is, I have a real Sophie's Choice dilemma on my hands here. On one hand, Lady Reporter, and on the other, From Here to Eternity. You know what? This is not a fictionalized story set in Nazi Europe, so I can do whatever the fuck I want here. I'm going to say that Lady Reporter and From Here to Eternity are both my picks of the week. Fuck it. Double feature. Watch them back to back and see some real magnitude of cinema. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram and X to see what movies I'm renting next, and pretty much everything is on my letterbox. I am going to go watch some more movies. I hope you do too. Video on.